Hi, Coach Martinez. Thank you so much for agreeing to sit down with me for this interview. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and working on an in-depth look at my growth and impact as a player on your team and on the field. We've worked closely for a year or two now, and I think it's really important for other coaches to also know your perspective on me as a player, as a coach yourself. So, starting with the interview. Can you recall the first time you saw me play or train? What were your initial impressions? What stood out to you about me as a player early on?
Well, thanks for having me. Number one, I absolutely remember the first time I saw you play. And the words that come to mind are just impactful, powerful, athletic, quick. Bella is one of those players that makes an impact, and you notice her on the field. I think she's grindy, she's hardworking, and that's what you kind of want as a coach, and that's what you can always expect from her. But those are the things that come to mind. Images from the first time I saw you.
Oh, thank you. From your perspective, how have I grown or evolved as a player since joining the varsity team here at Louisville? Were there any key moments or turning points in my development that you can point to?
Yes. So I was fortunate enough to coach Bella her freshman year and this last sophomore year, and we went through 2 different seasons in terms of results. First year, Bella was learning the ropes and kind of the flow of the team, but she did a really excellent job. She was able to play the 7 and 11 really well, but the moment that sticks out to me from her freshman year was we were playing in a CIF game, and I put her as the 10. I needed an attacking midfielder to just defend and be super grindy and make an impact in the game, and she did it without really questioning it, and I knew she was capable of playing there, so I think that's a really good asset of yours. You're super versatile, so your ability to play winger and also the 10, and then I think in the future you're also capable of playing the 9 as well. So
what would you say are my strongest qualities on the field, tactically, technically, and physically? Are there any specific roles or positions where you felt I was the most effective in one, which kind of plays into the last question?
Okay, perfect. Tactically, I think your drive and willingness to go forward. Bella is one of those players who's going to want to be part of your attack, which is really helpful as a coach if you're trying to generate offense. She's always willing to go forward tactically. Technically, her first touch, her dribbling, her ability to strike the ball is excellent. One of my favorite things about you, and I'm going to tell you this here because it's relevant, she really loves to train on her own technically, and you can really see that in her play. She loves to dribble, take players on. She's super creative, and I've been always really impressed with your technical ability on the ball. You make a good impression. And then what was the last part of that? Technically, tactically,
and physically.
I think the strong parts of your game are your willingness to defend and grind, and your sphere of influence on the field is really big. So the area that you impact, whatever position you're playing, is really helpful to the team.
Okay, thank you. And then, how would you describe my mentality during games and training sessions? Do you see any growth in terms of leadership, resilience, or communication throughout my time with the team?
Yes, I see a lot. Like I said, I coached you freshman year, sophomore year, and 2 different seasons in terms of results. But leadership-wise, Bella is a force on the field. She's not afraid to encourage her teammates, but also maybe be that voice of, hey guys, we need to pick it up, or this needs to be better. And she always does it in a way that's supportive, but I think that's sometimes the hardest thing to do as a leader, is to hold your teammates accountable and also raise the level of the game. But in practice, Bella's intense. She's a gamer. She loves the sport, and you can see that when she trains. She loves being there, and it bleeds out to the rest of her teammates.
Okay, thank you.
We're back.
Okay, Varsity, can you share a time when I faced a challenge, maybe an injury, a tough loss, or a performance slump, and how I handled it?
I think the best example would probably be your sophomore year. Coming off your freshman year that we already talked about, you were highly successful. You earned a starting role as a freshman. You were a large contributor, helped us get to a CIF championship. And then this past year, second year of high school, was just a challenging year. We didn't get the results that we wanted. We were in a different league playing against some really good teams. So I think that was, number one, a great challenge for you. So I think you handled the adversity with strength and determination, but also understanding that to trust the process a little bit. And there was many times throughout the season that you would talk to your teammates and offer encouraging messages of just like being hopeful or keep working and not giving up despite the score. So I think every soccer player has to go through both seasons, the winning seasons and the not winning seasons. So it's been great to see your growth through that as well.
You've seen me train and compete for several seasons. How would you sum up who I am both as a player and as a person? If you were talking to a college coach or recruiter, what would you want them to know about?
Yeah, I have two great stories, and I think anyone who has the privilege of watching you play, like, you can see automatically kind of a window to your soul, and you work so hard. You're passionate about the game, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to help the team get the results. So that's easy to see on the field. But one of my most favorite stories is the character piece. And this story I will tell forever because it's literally one of my favorites. So this is Isabella's freshman year. We had just won the CIF championship. It was a great game, 2-0, right? Yeah, 2-0 win. Our team, myself included, was just ecstatic. We were celebrating, like crying, tears, jumping, celebrating. And I didn't see this because I was celebrating with the team, but someone in the stands told me this later. They said, Ari, one of your players, right after the game, while everyone was celebrating, what number are you?
15.
15. Someone asked me, hey, Ari, who's number 15? And I said, oh, that's Isabella. Why? And they said, well, right after the game when your team was celebrating and cheering and just, hey, we just won a CIF championship, she literally walked up to the girls on the other team who were crying and on the floor just distraught, and she gave them like a genuine hug and checked in on them. And I think that's one of my favorite stories in terms of Bella and her character, because in that moment, myself included, we were focused on ourselves and celebrating, and she took a genuine moment and a heartfelt moment to reach out to those other girls who were rightly so distraught and crying and sad, and really checked in on them and probably said something very nice, I'm sure. But beyond Bella's soccer, that's a little piece to her heart and her soul, which I really value.
I thought we were going to talk about like a practice or something where I like made a joke.
No, that's my favorite story.
Okay. Final thoughts. Is there any memory or moment that stands out to you specifically? Which you kind of already went over, so just skip over that.
Yeah, that.
Lastly, is there anything I might have missed in this interview that could add to the picture of me as an athlete, or any information that could be like crucial or important for potential college coaches looking for me and to recruit them for my team? Is there anything you think I should keep focusing on as I continue in high school, soccer, and life beyond high school?
Yeah, having coached and played college soccer, I think one of the important skills you want in your players is someone who's willing to continue to improve and is always looking to get better, and that's Bella. Whether it's coming early, she always asked if she could come early or stay late to do extra work technically. Tactically, she's always asking questions, watching film. I think in college that's a huge piece, and I know she'll be willing to put in the time there to just improve her game. And ultimately, that's what you want as a coach. You want a player who's willing to seek those moments to get better, whether it be on the field, off the field, and then leadership as well. I think Bella is young in her leadership right now, but I'm fairly 100% certain by the time she's a senior or ready to go to college, I know she's going to have all the skills and the wisdom to be a really, really good leader, and that's an important trait as well.
Well, thank you for talking to me again, because this is part 2. But I'm excited for our next high school season. And
thanks, Bella.
Oh my God.
Okay, this is fun.
Howdy do.
Had to switch the scenery a little bit.
We're in a new spot.
Okay, Coach Ari, thank you again for spending time with me today as we begin to explore our coach-athlete relationship. I want to take a moment to share some background and we set the stage a bit more. We first met during my freshman year when I tried out for your high school varsity team. What we didn't get a chance to touch on earlier was just how monumental that year turned out to be for me personally and for the team, and for you as a coach, and for our high school program overall. That season saw us go undefeated in league, win the CIF championship, and ultimately capture the Southern Section State Championship, bringing home a historic win for our school. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and one that ended with me earning my first championship ring as a freshman on the squad. I know I had a lot to learn, but I'd love to hear your perspective. Could you speak to my participation that season? Was there anything specific that stood out to you in terms of how my skill set contributed to the team's success? How, if at all, did you find ways to utilize my strengths within that historic run?
Well, thanks for having me, Bella. It's great to be back again. And thanks for providing the context of that season. I feel super fortunate that you came into the high school program when you did as a freshman. And like you mentioned, it was amazing that you were able to contribute right off the bat as a freshman. Usually when new players come to the team, it takes them some time to adjust. And I'm really proud to say that there was an adjustment period for you, but there was also a time where you just jumped right in. And I think you were, by the end of the season, a huge contributor and a large piece of why we won. And everyone always asks me about the championship team. And one of the things I always say is that they were gritty, hardworking, and I think you exhibit both of those qualities, and you always have since day one. So I think your work ethic and your grittiness and your ability to just work for your teammates really helped us get that championship. And you were all in for the team, which I think is another great trait that you have. You're willing to commit to the mission, and sometimes the mission is playing for your teammates, and I think you did that really well.